All right, good morning. Welcome back for another installment of Firestorm at home. As you guys can tell, we're not at any of the Firestorm gyms. We're actually at our home. So we appreciate you guys joining us and for allowing us into your home today on a live stream. It is AcroFlex. It's another beautiful Saturday morning out here in Moreno Valley, and we're looking to gain some mobility and flexibility today. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go ahead and take some time to make a little bit of space in your home. I pushed our chair back, slid our couch over, and moved our coffee table off to the side. So now I've got plenty of space. Fortunately, also on carpet flooring, which is going to help me. I'm going to be sliding out and around in my splits and in my stretches. So I'm going to be barefoot for today's lesson and also not using a mat. If you guys are on a hard surface, tile or hardwood floor, then I would recommend that you guys have a mat or anything really that's going to help soften that impact. You don't want to accidentally be doing some of these movements on a hard surface and hurt yourself. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we have our space set up and that we've got a drink of water before we get started in class. Make sure that you guys hydrate, keep yourself drinking water regularly. And that should have been more than enough time for everyone to get ready. So we're going to get started with AcroFlex 7. That's right. So we're going to widen up and take a strong postured position with our chest and chin up in a forward and neutral position. Now we can take a deep breath through the nose and out the mouth. Going in the nose and out the mouth. One last time, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice. And now we're going to roll our chin towards our chest. We're going to roll our chin from chest to shoulder and then from shoulder to chest to shoulder. Continuing this roll, going back and forth. Keep your body in good posture. Don't let your slouch take control. Keep your chest and shoulders up and back, and then roll your head through that reach. Is that so, Artemis? All right, and now we're going to go on ahead and roll our shoulders backwards. Nice big backward shoulder shrugs. Don't forget, you can breathe the whole time that we're doing class. In fact, if you're not breathing the whole time we do class, you are legendary. You are not able to do all of this, or I'm not able to do all of this without breathing. I would die, literally I would die. It'd be an hour without oxygen. Stop, opposite direction. So make sure that you guys are breathing. And in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop with the shoulders. We're gonna start with the elbows and the forearm and the wrist. We're going to do one like we've done previously. We're going to pin the back of our hands together, press our elbows down, and keep pressure in the back of the hand. From here, we're going to roll the hands and the fingers so they point in at our chest. I'm also going to turn them so that I'm sticking only my pinkies and my blades of my hands together. Then I'm going to put my palm together, and then lastly I'm going to roll so that my index and my pointer finger is together. And I'm going to keep that pressure there. I'm going to roll through the wrist, and you guys can see I'm actually also doing a slight bit of an elbow circle or an elbow roll while I do this. So I'm mobilizing both my elbows and my wrists while simultaneously kind of warming up my forearm. Opposite direction, palms in, pinkies towards yourself, heel of your or back of your hand together, then your thumbs together. Artemis is attacking my literature because he hates the fact that I'm giving out homework. If you guys don't know, that's right, giving out homework. All of you should be reading today, at least a little bit. While you're all stuck inside, one of the things that we have to make sure that we keep all intact is not just our body, but also our mind. So today, take a second, read a book or something, just a passage out of a book would be nice. Anyway. We're going to move from our upper half to our mid, widening our stance a little bit more and getting started with a few torso twists. when you guys do those torso twists, I want you to keep them slow and continuous. So we're going all the way there and all the way back. And I'm not really doing a momentum twist where I pull myself through. Instead, I'm just twisting manually. When I say manual, it means I'm contracting my abs and my back to force my muscles to create this movement with my body. Almost like I'm pulling one group of muscles in at a time. Squeezing, 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 squeezing all the way up through the back. And then twisting and squeezing on the opposite side. Nice. All right. We're going to go ahead and do our momentum twist now. So we are going to add a little bit more of our arm power with our twist. As you guys can probably feel, as we were doing our first one, we did not get as deep, but now with the momentum, we get a little extra depth. And so sometimes you feel those cracks and those pops, those little decompressions in your back. We're gonna go ahead and move down out of the spine into the hips by rolling the hips out. Excuse me. Doing just a few hip circles. No? No hip circles, Hamid, no? So if you guys couldn't tell, I have cats. We have cats. They're precious little creatures, and they hang out and they fight and they play around on the sides of the videos, or they'll come in and stretch and scare themselves with their own tail or something, and then they'll meow aggressively about it.
It's because I'm in her chair.
I think that's why. Opposite direction for the hip circle. So, though there may be distractions, just like in any class, you gotta try and focus on your class. I'm constantly distracted by my cats, so if you guys are watching at home and you are also distracted, don't worry. I'm right there with you. Alright, we're gonna stop with our hips. We're gonna go ahead and slide down to our knees. We're gonna keep this wide stance, and we're gonna bend into a slight squat. And we're gonna slide over into a lunge. And we're gonna go back and forth between lunges on either side. You guys can hear my feet, my knees, and my ankles, hips popping and clacking. We are using quite a lot of those little joints in there, mobilizing those hinges of the body, getting them ready for the day, and that's okay. Don't forget to breathe in the nose and out the mouth. Yeah? All right, good. We're gonna go on ahead and from there, straighten out both legs and dip our chin and chest down just a little bit. Just like that. Keep those legs locked out nice and straight. And keep your spine nice and strong. You should feel this in the back of your hamstrings, which is going to lead down into the back of your knee. So we are still warming up, mobilizing those knees in doing this movement. And now we're gonna squat again, dropping the hips down in place, and you should feel that through the front of the hip flexor just a little bit. And then we're going to lock them out, and again moving to the back of the knees, and squat again. So this mobility is going from here, through the back, and then around into our hip flexor. Take it slow, do it a few times. Get distracted by your cat once in a while. All right, and we're going to stand up nice and strong. Boom. Pull those feet together, and we're going to do just a few knee circles now. So feet and knees together as best as you can get them. We really want to avoid this sort of thing where your knees are together and your feet are apart. We also really want to avoid where your feet are together and your knees are apart. Thanks, puppies. We're going to go on ahead and do our knee circles. Nice low squat, pressure on the hands, through the hands into the knees. If you guys are uncomfortable with putting the pressure on the actual knee, you can put your hands on your thighs just a little bit higher and make your way down slowly as close as you can to the knee until you find that comfortable spot.
that will help you to balance and apply pressure all the same. And opposite direction. Nice.
Nice. Go ahead and stand up nice and tall. Shake them out. We're going to do our ankles, then our warm-ups. So take a small lunge where you put yourself back and one step goes in. Now I can put some weight on that front foot, lift that heel, make those big old circles with my knee and my heel. Make sure that you make those circles going both directions. So I'm going to do just a few going this way, then switch and do just a few going the opposite direction. In today's class, we're actually going to be specifically focusing on your AcroFlex in the feet and in the knees. Go ahead and switch sides. So feet and knees, as well as your hips and your glutes. So it is another lower body class. So for those of you that feel like your lower back gets tense, this class will probably help you a lot, because we're going to loosen up a lot of the things under your lower back that are pulling on those muscles. Separately, if you're like, oh my goodness, my legs are sore because you've done classes this week, opposite direction, then this is going to be super helpful to alleviate some of that soreness. Today, or at least this week, in our previous parkour streams, we've done quite a lot of leg workouts. And many of you guys are saying that you're sore or that you're feeling it, so here we are to help remedy that. We're gonna go on ahead, now that we're done with our mobility, and start our warm-ups. Just a light jog in place. And now if you're on the second floor in a complex, be careful. You don't want to stomp around on your neighbor's roof. You have to be considerate of the space that you're in. You are sharing your space.
I think Fisher might be joining us.
Nice, super cool. Always appreciate the friends on the stream.
And the family.
Oh man, family for sure. Alright, go ahead and stop with the jog in place. We're going to start with a slightly different one, really using and going into those hips. We're going to stand slightly wider, lean over onto one leg, lift our other leg out sideways, and we're going to lift it sideways just a few times. You guys can see I'm not turning and lifting it forward like this. I'm lifting the side of my foot out and very barely letting just my big toe tap the floor. And so I'm really using my glute for my side kick, the way that I'm doing this little side kick. The other thing I'm using is a lot of this glute to hold myself in balance. So we're using our butts muscles, our glutes. If you can kick your leg sideways higher, great. I cannot. So I'm going to go ahead and stop with that one side, switch to my opposite side now, making sure I'm not kicking anything in my cats, and get that balance and lift those legs up through the side. Really using, again, those muscles in your butt. That's your glute. When you drop that foot down, barely touching with the big toe, not heavily collapsing on it, barely touching it. Get the side of the foot up. Good. Went ahead and give it a rest. Some of you were like, Coach, this is an AcroFlex class. Why are we doing workouts? Good question. You have to use those muscles, force the blood flow through, get them ready for a deep stretch. There's your answer. So we're going to take a seat for this next part of our warm-up. From here, what we're going to do is lay down nice and flat as possible. We're going to put our feet next to our butt, and we're going to lift our hips up off the ground. I'm not using my hands and my arms to do that. Instead, I'm just using my hamstrings, my quads. Keep your heels down, lift up, and it should be slightly explosive lift. When you get to the top, squeeze your glutes, squeeze those quads, and lock those legs together as best as possible. Then we set down slow, and we burst up, squeeze, hold, set down slow, and burst up, squeeze and hold, then set down slow, and burst up. Squeeze and hold. Set down slow. Last one, and burst up. Squeeze and hold. We're going to hold it a little bit longer in here this time. Hello, mister. Alright, and set it down nice and slow. Good. Now we're going to curl our knees in, just like this. We can brace ourselves by putting our hands flat on the floor, just like so. Grab slightly wide. We're going to curl our hips up, just like that, using a lot of the abdomen and the lower back. So use your hands to help you. Lay your head flat onto the floor. Again, you should be in a comfortable space. And curl those hips up. All right, good. Last little bit. Go ahead and extend those legs out to straight. And we're gonna flutter kick those legs back and forth just like that. Now mine are up kind of high. If you want extra challenge, go kind of low. But our goal would be to not kick our cat. So I'm going up a little high. All right, going ahead and give that a rest. We're going to sit ourselves up in a pike. And from here, we're going to go ahead actually and take a quick sip of water. Get a water break, guys. We're going to get started on our actual stretches in just a moment. So, go ahead and get your water. I'm going to get mine. Hi, Artemis. Hello. Oh, you're back. Hi, everyone. So, go ahead and move the furniture in your living room. I know sometimes it's heavy furniture. Move it all the way out of the way. Make sure that your space is clear. We're going to get started with our first few stretches. Again, today is a foot day. Very heavily focusing on our feet, and then our ankles, our knees, then our hips and our glutes. So we're going to go ahead and start by curling your toe into the ground just like that. I'm going to do it again on this front foot so you guys can see. I've curled my toe. Now I'm doing the smallest lunge, very shallow lunge. Feet are next to each other and I'm leaning in just a little bit so that I can put that weight in that front foot and help to curl those toes more. Go ahead and switch feet. Switch and curl your toes on your opposite foot now. Curl and slightly lean in. Nice. Don't forget, keep breathing. And we're going to go ahead and come on out of that. Now we're going to do the opposite, where we just curled our toes in. We're now going to flex our feet and kind of, instead of curling our toes, we're now going to pull them up and back the opposite direction. So one of the ways that we like to do this is by just balancing on one foot, putting your stretching foot behind you just a little bit, starting with a big strong flex there behind you, and then leaning down into that by leaning backwards into it. Now from here, there's a lot of weight loaded in on my toe and quite a bit loaded in the arch of my foot. I'm going to do one last movement, and that's going to take that stretching legs knee. I'm going to bend that knee down towards the ground so that I can increase that stretch. You guys can see I'm clearly supporting myself on my opposite leg. That's all right. If you guys are taking the challenge, do it without the support, that's okay too. I actually feel a better stretch when I hold myself firm with balance and force my knee down a little lower. I can really feel that in the ball of my toe and the arch of my foot. We're gonna go ahead and come on out of that, switch to our opposite side. So again, balance floating, flex foot, toe locked into place and down, and then last part is that we add to that, we improve that stretch, and we go ahead and bring our knee down. Whew. Drastically increasing the tension in our bottom of our foot as well as the toe and the ball of the toe itself. You should feel some of this actually even in your Achilles tendon. Come on up out of that. Woo. We're gonna go ahead and pin our toe to the ground again and roll our ankle out just a few times. I know that's a little bit of intense pressure. So just like a washing machine, a couple circles one way and a couple circles the other. Are gonna be more than enough to do your foot a justice. Roll it both ankles. Again, a couple circles in each direction. Don't forget to keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're going to go on ahead and now start with a few calf raises. So again, making sure that you have clear space, slap those feet together, keep those knees super tight and squeeze. We're gonna stay standing and lift our heels up off the ground, going into that big flex foot position, lifting up through the toe, and slowly setting down. It's gonna be a series of slow movements, slowly up and slowly down, just like that, slowly up and slowly down, continuing still, slowly up and hold now, hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 means slow set down. All right, good. Now we're going to do just those few stretches that we did again, but in a slightly different position. We're gonna go down into a kneeling position. So, again, make sure that you maintain your furniture space. You're gonna come down, and we're gonna start with our feet flexed, just like this, the big toe and the pad of my toe pressed into the ground. Now I can sit my hips back on and towards my heels. And so from this position, I should already be feeling stretch in the foot and in the toe, and a little bit into the calf. So, guys, go ahead and sit yourselves back on those heels. I actually can't quite get my glute to my heel on this side just yet, because I'm still finishing up my therapy. So my cat will help me hide my shame. And now he will be gone. Be gone! Or not. Either way, that is enough time. We're going to come out of that flexed foot position, point those toes, lay them flat on the ground, and go into a table position now. So, we're going to put our hands directly under our shoulders as best as possible, keeping our knees and our feet slightly wide. Now, adjusting into that table, we're going to push our belly button down towards the floor, and then suck our belly button in and curl our back out into that big hollow body position. So we're going to hit this arch in our spine, and then we're going to hit this hollow in our spine. And one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is it's a lot of your hip rotating backwards, and then rotating forwards, and then rotating backwards, and then rotating forwards. So from that table position, imagine your hip rotating backwards. That's forcing your low back and your butt together. So that's that rotation there. And from that point of that rotation, we're going to, from that point of that rotation, we're then going to hollow ourselves back and close our belly button with our hip bone, or with our pelvis. So we're just rolling through the low spine by doing this movement, going back and forth with that movement. Nice and strong on both ends. And go on ahead and stop there. Bring the feet and the knees back together. We're going to have the feet pointed this time. Now we're going to sit back on our heels again. Where we were flexed before, now we have our toes pointed as we're kneeling and we're leaning back now. If you would like to increase the stretch, you can lean back so far so that your knees come up off the ground. You can use your hands to assist you with that. I'm pretty comfortable in my stretch here, so I'm going to stay here. But if you guys wanted to increase your stretch again, you could use your hands and then lift your knees up off the ground, lean back, and lift your knees up off the ground. Now, I don't quite feel like I need all of that right now. But Artemis feels like he needs one of these really cool Firestorm backpacks, I guess. So if you guys want one, you can find it on our shop tab on our website. Or you guys Don't have to if you don't want to. It's okay. You can check out this really cool shirt though. That's a good one. All of the stuff that I'm rocking right now, as far as our Firestorm apparel goes, is available on our shop tab. Huh, Artemis? Tell them. Alright. So, we're going to go on ahead and come out of that back into table and flex those feet. And then we're going to lift ourselves up essentially into a downward dog. So, keep those feet flexed. Lift your knees up off the ground. Straighten your legs out and push your chest back. Oh my goodness. Now, if you guys can, push your heels to the ground. Great. This is another stretch for your calf and the back of your ankle. So while we're in that hold, that lifted downward facing dog, push your heels down to the ground. Good. And we're going to go on ahead and step one foot forward in towards our hands to a nice big lunge. And we're going to reach out and all the way out the front, come all the way up to the top. We're going to hold that for just a moment. Put your heel of your back foot, put that back heel down towards the ground as best as you can still. Big reach up. And now we're going to shift over to our opposite side. And again, heel down towards the ground. Good, and we're going to come hands down into that lunge. And we're going to step our front foot back into our downward facing dog opposite side. You're going to hold that for just a moment. Don't forget to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, go on ahead and come up out of that. Guys, I am thirsty. I'm parched. I'm going to need a quick drink of water. So I'm going to get mine, and you guys go on ahead and go get yours. Alright guys, I had to fill up my water, but now I am done. Well hydrated. Oh man, overhydrated. Excuse me. Alright, and we're going to go on ahead and pick it back up with where we were leaving off. We're going to continue targeting our legs, moving our way up from our feet and our calves now into our knees just a little bit more. We're going to go on ahead and do our next few stretches as a laying series of stretches. So we're going to lay down nice and flat, get an extended space where your body will fit. We're going to actually end up laying down on our stomach. So flip over, lay down flat on your chest, flat on your stomach. We're going to be pulling one leg in and up just like this. And then we're going to be reaching back, grabbing over the top of that toe. Just like that. Nice. Now while you've got that toe, okay, while you've got that toe and you're holding that toe, squeeze it, pin it nice and strong, nice and tight, pull it in, and you should feel this stretch towards the bottom of your quad in the top of your knee. Keep yourself balanced and breathing. It's a super important aspect of this stretch. Breathing in through the nose and out through your mouth. I don't need this. What are you doing? Alright. Go ahead and release that leg. Woo! We're going to switch to our opposite leg now. So, switch over. Go ahead and grab a hold of the opposite foot.
Again, I'm not grabbing the side of the foot here like this. I'm grabbing over the top of the toes. I'm not pulling my foot off to the side. I am instead pulling my heel down straight towards my butt. Some of you may be more flexible than this. That's when you do pull your foot slightly off to the side, and instead of pulling your foot to your butt, you pull your foot to the floor just next to you to the side of your hip. So for those of you that are more flexible, you would be pulling your foot down that way towards the floor, just slightly off the hip. Go ahead and release. Woo! We're going to take our hands under us. We're going to stretch our lower back and the low abdomen out by doing our ceiling stretch. So a big push up. Keep the hips down. And breathe in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And in the nose. And out the mouth. We're going to slide back into a cat stretch. So we're pushing our hips over our knees, and now sliding our hands out until our chest gets close to the floor or touches. Hold that for just a moment. Good, and then come back up into a table position. So, we're gonna go on ahead and do our next series of stretches, still pretty close to the floor. This next one is actually going to be a combination of a workout and then a stretch. It's our pigeon stretch. Some of you are really good at your pigeon stretch. You're more flexible than I am. Your leg in front, like this one is laying now crossed on the floor, we're going to twist and push our hips behind this front knee. So I'm going to turn and put my hips behind that knee, and then I'm going to keep my last leg out behind me as well. So I'm in my pigeon stretch, starting from this sitting sort of bent leg, just chilling position. And we're gonna roll ourselves over and into that pigeon stretch. Now, many of you, like I said earlier, are more flexible than I am. And your leg goes out and it sits out at this straight line. And you can keep yourself pressed in while keeping your knee down, and I cannot. So my foot is actually in towards my back heel just a little bit more. That is way more than enough stretch for me, and I can feel that. Now I'm going to hold myself up without my hands there. Like I said, this is part stretch, part workout. So we're going to lift ourselves up, we're going to hold and slowly set ourselves back down. And it's almost like you have something soft and precious under you. You don't want to squish this thing. So you're going to keep your lifts going, and down and up, and try not to drop down so hard. And now we're going to just get low as possible, push our back foot back, and really feel that stretch in our in our glutes. We're also going to feel that in our hamstring, so the back of your thigh. Breathe and relax and lay yourself down and cross your leg as much as possible. And again, for those of you that are able to, have your foot up and out that little bit more. That will help to increase your stretch. Hi, Artemis. All right, so go ahead and sit yourself up. Slowly uncross those legs and slide yourself back to a table position. That's kind of an intense movement. So in between doing each side, we're going to slide ourselves out into an inverted butterfly. So from table to inverted butterfly, but we're not going to put our weight stacked up over the hips. We're just going to go on ahead, go into that inverted butterfly and move slightly forward and slightly backwards to mobilize those hips and those glutes just a little bit more. All right, and go on ahead and switch now. So back into your table position. I previously had my right leg in front. Now I'm going to take my left leg in. It's going to cross the front of the body, as you guys can see. And then from there, I'm going to turn and sit my hips back in place. Nice. Turn and sit my hips back in place. Then I can adjust my foot, push my foot up as much as possible. Either way, we are going to do that few lifts. So we're leaning out, barely touching the ground, lifting ourselves up and away from it, using our back and our glute and the low end of our hamstring. So pushing up and away, or rather lifting up and away. Just a few more now. All right, good. And now we're going to do like we did before. Low as you can go and push yourselves back into your stretch. If you can, lift that foot and lift that foot up and out across the body and keep yourself in that stretch. I can't, so unfortunately my leg is a little more bent than some. Don't forget to breathe in the nose and out the mouth. And go ahead and come back up into a table position. Nice. Like we did last time, after table, slide yourself wide and open into an inverted butterfly. And it's not a super deep pressure butterfly. It's one that we can just mobilize our hips and our glutes through by getting in there. That inverted butterfly moving slightly forward and slightly backward. All right, I'm going to slide the knees together and come on into a seated pike position, seated pike. From here, we are going to be doing a few of our stretches that you may be familiar with, known as our Hollywood and pretzel stretch. We're going to take our leg up and over the top. I'm starting with my left leg. I'm going to pull that leg in as close as I can so that my left heel is almost touching my right butt cheek. Pulling that in, now I'm going to reach my right elbow to the outside of my left thigh. I know it's a lot of crossing the body that's happening here. That's okay. If you can keep in line with that, it's going to be one cross the body, then two cross the body. Just like that. I can pull that in, keep it close, press my elbow into the side of my knee, grab a hold of my hip, and now I can pull my whole leg over into a tilt. That way, while pulling that into a tilt, I'm going to also use this back arm and push my shoulder back towards my circle chair. Pushing it back, looking in the direction of my push. And breathing. Going ahead and come out of that deep and twist. We're going to keep that cross in our front leg and now take our bottom leg and it's going to bend in over towards this hip. So I'm going to turn that foot over. It was toe pointed to the sky. Now it's toe pointed the direction of my cross. And now I'm sliding my heel across the floor back into my hip. Now I'm in my pretzel stretch. Now from here, you can hold yourself up by really just tightly squeezing your knee, your thigh, and your shin here, giving it a big old hug and pulling your chest in to the point where your chest makes contact, and then straightening out your spine, lifting up your chin and chest. We're actually going to roll our head and neck out. So keep the stretch strong. Roll your head 3 circles one way, and 3 circles the opposite way. All right, that's all 3 circles in left and in right. I'm going to go ahead and come out of my pretzel stretch. Woo! Take a seat out of it for a second. Just go ahead and shake your legs before we do that circuit of stretches on our opposite side. Ooh, clicks and pops. That's my knee if you've been wondering. All right, I had left over right. Now I am right over left. Pulling that foot, that heel in as close as I can to my glute on this side. Now, twisting that arm over to the outside and pushing my hip and my knee across and looking away from the camera. Here, I'll do this for you guys. There we go. Push and twist. And don't forget to breathe. In your nose and out your mouth the whole time. Big deep breath in. And out. And in. And out. Good. Go on ahead and come out of that, but keep the cross. Keep the leg crossed over. That's right. We're going into our pretzel on our opposite side. Lean a little bit if you need to help make this work. Slowly bend that straight leg in and under you. Tightly grab that front leg. Connect the chest to the knee and straighten out. And we're going to do 3 neck circles each direction, just like we did on our last side. So roll it out. 1, 2, 3. Opposite. 1, 2, 3. All right. Good. Go ahead and release the leg. Straighten it out. Shake it out a little bit. Just a little bit. Woo. Go ahead. Relax. Take a nice deep breath in without any stretch. No stretch. Just a big deep breath. In your nose. And out your mouth. So, we're going to move into our last few stretches for today's lesson. The last few that we have planned out are going to, again, be targeting our legs and our lower back, still sticking with those same core groups. We're going to hit a pike stretch. Very deep pike stretch. We're going to do this with both flexed feet and with pointed toes. Our goal currently is to start with our flexed feet. If we can, really flex our quads too, to lock our knees down to the ground to the point where almost you can lift your heel up off the ground without having to pull your foot. So I'm going into hyperextension, right? And I'm not hyperextending a lot, right? I'm hyperextending just enough that I can almost slide my clipboard under my heel, right? But it's just that little bit. So real tight flex. And now that we're locked to the floor, we can go under our calves. We can grab our calves and pull ourselves deeper. If you are able to reach your toes, then do this. Grab around the ball of your toe and really press into actually the arch of your foot with your fingertips and push your toes down using the heel of your hand like that. So we're not kind of retching on the foot a little bit while we are in the stretch. So for those of you that can reach your feet, you get bonus extra stretch. Pull that, retch yourself in super tight, squeeze and breathe. In the nose, out the mouth. Good. Release those feet. Keep the legs locked though. We're gonna now point our toes. Super tight pointing those toes as best as you can, as much as possible. And we're going to go in and reach in as far as we can, come back out. And we're going to bounce in and out of this stretch just a few times before we deeply hold it. So don't bounce super aggressively. It is a soft bounce, very minimal, just to warm up the lower back and get those hamstrings ready. So bounce in and out. And it's a very minimal and a very light bounce. Sorry, guys. Our cat is got high anxiety about everything. So if you see him freak out, he comes flying through the video because things are, well, paper and a clipboard and he doesn't know what they are. I'm sorry. Good. All right. That should be enough of those bounces. We're now going to go on ahead and do what we did last time and put our hands under our calves. So squeeze, lock those quads down. So fingers under the ball of the calf, lock the quad down to the point of hyperextension if possible, and then keep the toe point, pull your chest and shoulders down, pull your belly button through that.
There you go.
All right, and we're back from our technical difficulties like I was saying before. Go ahead in your pike stretch, grab under the ball of the calf, pull your chest and shoulders down, and then lastly, push your belly button through that to straighten out your spine and to lift yourself into a good posture while you do your pike stretch. Good job, guys. And go ahead and come out of that stretch. We're going to go into our butterfly stretch, not an inverted butterfly, but just a normal butterfly. So pull those feet in and push the hips and the feet together. From here, we're going to grab a hold of the inside or the bottom of the shin and push on the inside of the knee with our elbows. So I'm pulling up on the shin and I'm pushing down on the knee. So now I can manually widen my butterfly a little more. Last thing that I can do with that, just like we did with our pike, pull my belly button through the front. So I'm going to pull my stomach up, pull my belly button up. Nice. All right. Good. Go ahead and release that. Come out of there. We're going to do our next few stretches. Well, I'm going to lay down actually with my head towards you so that you guys can see pretty clearly what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to lay down nice and flat. I'm going to bend actually both of my legs. I'm going to cross one leg just like that. Now you guys can see this leg should be nice and flat. It's a super flat level, essentially table. I'm going to reach under my table this way and around the leg of my table this way. So you guys can see my table. I'm going to grab this leg here and I'm going to interlace or interlock my fingers behind my thigh. And now I'm going to pull my knee and my thigh in towards my chest. My elbow is going to be here in the way of my opposite knee, and that's okay. I'm going to pull that knee, which is in turn pulling this foot towards my opposite shoulder. Just like that. You'll feel this on your crossed leg. You'll feel this on the outside of the glute again, and in the side of the thigh over here towards your IT band. Good. And go on ahead and set all of that down. Set it down. Slide them out flat. Shake them out just a moment. We're going to go on ahead and then slide them back in. And switch to our opposite side. I was left over, but now I am right over in my cross. I've got my little table. And again, most people have a dominant side and a non-dominant side. So if you guys have your non-dominant side, you will know it. It is not going to be as easy. That's okay. But we're going to go for it anyway. So reach in, grab that leg, interlock behind it, and pull yourself deep into your stretch. The deeper you can pull into your stretch, the better. But the trick here really is to make sure you're feeling the stretch in the right parts of your body. If I sit up and I pull myself in a whole lot, I'm starting to feel it in my back. But my goal is to feel it in the side here of my lower end of my glute and my thigh. Good, go on ahead and release that. Okay. The last stretch that we're going to do is from this laying position actually. It's going to be a two-parter. We're going to go on ahead and curl ourselves into a tuck. So we're going to lay essentially in the fetal position here just like this and with a slightly widened straddle. Now I can lift my feet up towards the ceiling. I'm flexing my feet and I'm lifting them up like they're going to be holding a flat table. I'm going to reach inside from this interior grab here. I'm going to pull my knees down into my armpits. Hello, everyone. So I'm pulling myself into a slightly widened straddle, pulling my knees in towards my armpits.
Can you not eat my lesson? Can you not eat my lesson? Sorry, mind the monsters. Alright, good. And now we're going to pike, a candlestick pike. So slowly bring those legs together, and then bring those toes over your head to the ground in front. Alright, come on out of your candlestick pike. Take a seat. It's a lot of movement. We've done a whole circuit there for our lower back. We've done a whole bunch for our knees, for our feet, for our quads. We've really stretched out our lower body today. One of the last things that we're going to do is a bridge stretch. That's really it. So we're going to go on ahead and lay down nice and flat. Move our cat if we need to. Alright. So, lay down nice and flat. To start, we're going to take our bridge in a few different parts. We're going to start actually with our upper body and our arm part. We're going to flip our hands over, tuck them into our shoulders, really press the heel of your hand into the ground. Then from here, we're just going to lift just the upper body up, just like that. I know that may feel awkward, but there's many of us that struggle with this part of our bridge, and so we're emphasizing or isolating those muscle groups without all the extra strain or the extra stress. So, go on ahead and flip those hands over, and lift your shoulders up. Keep your hips down. And we're going to do that just like push-ups just a few more times. So push up, set down, and push up, and set down, and push up, and set down. Last one, push up and hold, and set down. Alright, now we're going to switch over to our legs. We're going to get those arms in, cross our chest. Ow, that's my butt. Stop that. Get your arms in across your chest. Feet are going to be planted next to your butt. And we're going to lift our hips up off the ground, just like that. We did this as a workout earlier today, but we're going to do just a few more. So from that low bent position, lifting into a strong extension in our hip. So boom, big strong extension in the hip. But we're actually not going to do it explosive like that. We're going to do it nice and slow. Full extension, nice and slow. Alright, good. And set it down one last time. We're going to do our whole bridge stretch now. So the full dilly, hands and legs. But now, when you guys do this, I like to start a little wide so that I can get myself up. But remember that our goal is to get both our feet and knees together, as well as our legs into a straight and extended position during our bridge. So, some of us are really good at it, have a lot of solid flexibility in our back. Some of us struggle. I am one of the strugglers. So that way you guys know you're not alone. Summer, if you've watched any of our previous AcroFlex episode, she's not a struggler. I'm a struggler. So, alright guys, we're going to go on ahead and lay down nice and flat. Bend those feet in. Bend those hands in. Ready. And lift. And adjust. And count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slow set down, tuck and roll, and we're almost all the way done. So guys, all right, we are going to take a quick moment just to give you a bit of information. We are expanding our live stream. Our goal is to add on Fridays from 12 to 1,
an additional strength and calisthenics class, focusing mostly on just strength and conditioning. It's going to help to prepare you for our strength and conditioning classes that we have at the gym. Some of you have been asking for a more intense workout out of the parkour classes, and well, this is the best way that we can provide it. Because parkour is supposed to be fairly intermediate as far as the workout goes, and it should also be addressing skills. During our strength classes on Fridays from 12 to 1, we're going to be addressing just workouts. So a little bit more straightforward, but not any easier. It is significantly going to be pushing you a lot harder than any of our previous class streams. So for those of you looking for more workout, we're going to be doing Fridays from 12 to 1 as an additional stream. Our additional, add on top of that, is actually Little Heroes live streams. They're not going to be a full hour of length. They're going to be something closer to 30 or 45 minutes, going based on episodes. We're going to be filming those on Wednesdays from 11 to 11:30, as well as on Saturdays from 10:30 to 11. So if you guys are watching this live stream now, great. This live stream is slated to go from about 9 to 10, right? And we're gonna do a 30-minute intermission and pick up at 10:30 with our Little Heroes class. One of the last things that I want to talk about is how you guys are able to help. We are not asking for any payment for these videos, for us to be doing this series of streams. We are doing this just because we need to keep you guys taken care of. So if you're at home and you're stuck in some sort of quarantine, or your businesses locally are closed and you have nowhere to go, you can do your workouts at home. If you appreciate that like we appreciate you, then you guys can go ahead and donate to us. The only place that we are currently accepting donations is our PayPal. So you guys can go ahead and donate to Firestorm Freerunning at Gmail. That's going to be on our PayPal, or at a PayPal account. So you guys go ahead and feel free to donate if you're enjoying what we're doing and you feel like you can, because I know it's a tough time right now. So those of you that can't donate, that's okay, we understand, and we are still going to be producing episodes for you and your family and your friends. If you are an active member at one of our gyms, then you have the option to freeze your account or to keep your account active during this time. If you can afford to do so and you would like to help, we would ask that you guys keep your accounts active and that you guys accumulate those makeups so we can give you the cool class environment that you're supposed to have, the in-class environment, not this at-home thing, which is super cool and super fun and is going to help you to prepare for your in-class environment, but I can't sign off your skills or rank you up that way. So you guys take all of that wonderful information into consideration. We're expanding our streams. We are also open to donations if you guys would like to donate. If you guys don't feel comfortable doing so, or you can't because you have to prioritize your family, there is no hard feelings. We love our community, and we just want to make sure that we stay in touch with you guys. So, thank you for joining me for another episode of AcroFlex. Really appreciate you guys' viewership. If you want, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and click the notification bell. Our class is all done. Go get some water, guys. Good job.